Martin Wilsey.
I'm Shay McGalley.
And I'm David Keener.
And this is the Hourlings podcast project. Well, tonight is a big episode. We've been kind of on a hiatus this summer. We did have enough episodes in the can to keep it flowing, but we're back. This is the recording date here. We are in September, and tonight's topic, we're going to be talking about what we did on our summer vacation, or over the summer, because every day is vacation for me. So
just rub it in.
I will put it in. You know, I'm constantly asking my Alexa how many days it's been since I retired, and I love that.
Nice.
Anyways, so let's start around. Dave, what was your favorite thing that you did this summer?
Well, my niece had a birthday, and we took her to do roller coasters at Hershey Park. Now, my niece is 19, and she was telling us how she was going to outlast her father and me and run us into the ground and stuff. And by the end of the day, she completely lost it, was unable to continue. And I ended up doing more roller coasters than her and more roller coasters than her father. And it was glorious. I beat a 19-year-old at my age, which I will not give. Ran her into the ground.
Well, I haven't been to Hershey Park in decades. I gotta talk Brendan taking me to Hershey Park.
It did every single roller coaster except for the baby ones that we didn't want to go on.
Yeah.
I love Hershey Park. It's like one of those very charming amusement parks that's not so overwhelming, that you can still feel like it's like a personal experience, you know?
Oh, we're
Go ahead.
pros. We got the speed passes and everything.
Yeah.
We walked on and walked off. We did every roller coaster we wanted multiple times.
They also
Cost
have a carousel there, a very old carousel, you know, one of the classic ones, the beautiful horses. And it's accessible for wheelchairs, which is really awesome. That was the first time I'd ever been on a carousel at Hershey Park. You know, I rolled right on with a big ramp, and then they strapped the chair in, and off I went. I must have ridden that thing 4 times. I was so excited.
I actually went to Hershey before there was a park. When I was a kid, I must have been like 9 or 10 years old. We took a tour of the Hershey factory.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, this was in the 60s, you would actually go in the real factory. And the only concession to tourists was they had a raised catwalk that you walked on through the factory. I mean, you're like walking directly over the vats of chocolate. You're walking over the tops of the workers that are pulling the broken candy bars out of the conveyor belts and throwing them into bins so that they can be remelted. And
they don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I know.
There's a lot of things they don't do anymore.
That's a shame.
And it was pretty interesting because you could go down at the end of the tour, and you could walk up to these giant bins of chocolate, and you could take all you wanted. And it was disgusting how much I took.
Nice.
I have never been so sick in my life. But it was a fun part. But that was not this summer.
I just want to say, I had been to Hershey Park before, 46 years ago.
Y'all make me feel young.
when I was 13 years old. However, you viewers are not allowed to do math. I'm still 39.
Shay, same question. What was your favorite thing from this summer? I think I have a hint of what it is.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. You know, you said favorite thing though, and you might be wrong. My favorite thing that I did this summer was not my trip to Europe, which might have been the one you were thinking of. Yes, even though that was very high on my list. That's number 2. My number 1 is that I survived COVID, which is a really big deal for me. because I was very scared of getting it with my condition and my lungs and all. And I took it like a total badass, if I do say so myself. So
Which version? Omicron or a previous one?
Whatever the one is out now is the one I got.
Omicron.
And I didn't have to go to the hospital. I pushed through without very little medicine, and I was a champ. So that was my number one.
Well, if you had to get one, Omicron was the one to get, especially if you're vaccinated and boosted.
Oh, don't downplay my achievement there.
I'm not downplaying your achievement. Survival is always priority number one.
Number two is my trip to Europe, which might have been where I got COVID, but it was worth it because I had a great time. I was able to spend time with my sister and my dad, and we went sightseeing. I got to take my service dog, which was really cool. Pierre, that was his first time overseas, and he did very well on a 7-hour flight without having to go to the bathroom or anything. So we were very proud of him. But
isn't it a hassle to take a dog internationally?
it is. I had to get like the vet signature. I had to overnight paperwork to some department, and they had to put their stamp on it and overnight it back, and all this nonsense. And then guess what? Not a single person at the airport checked it. It's all this red tape and paying fees and all that stuff. And then everyone just looked at him and petted him and said, "Oh, how cute," and let him on. But it is a pain in the neck to do it the right way, which we did, because heck, you don't want to get caught and then not be able to take your dog home, or not be able to, that'd be the worst.
Or it gets stuck like halfway in quarantine somewhere.
So it was better safe than sorry, but I did suspect that nobody would check, and nobody did. But yeah, we had a blast, and yeah, I love to travel. We've done many podcasts. I won't go too far into it, but the three of us always talk about how much we love to travel and be inspired and write and see the people and all that. But yeah.
Excellent. Well, for me, my favorite thing was I got to go camping a lot this summer. I have enjoyed the hell out of it. Unfortunately, like Shay, I got COVID as well. And the bad part about that was it was on the second day of a 2.5-week camp out. So we got there, we got completely set up, and the next morning I discovered I had COVID.
How did it start for you, Marty? What was your indication?
Well, I had a little dry cough.
Yeah.
And it was just a tiny dry cough. And that was the only symptom that I was expressing then, and deciding with caution, because we were camping, well, with 7,500 other people, but there was 21 people in our direct camp with close proximity.
Yeah.
And so we had some tests with us, so we said, well, what the hell, what's it gonna hurt to test? And
sure enough,
it came out positive. It was like 15 seconds. It's a line. It's like,
did you say
already pack your shit and get out.
Did you say some 4 words?
Yes. I was all, I had my hammock set up that morning. I got to spend an hour in my hammock.
Yep.
And I took this test. Son of a bitch. And so we had to leave. Brenda and I left. It's good that Brenda came with me because she ended up testing positive the next day for COVID. And we stayed home for a week.
Yep.
We both had mild cases. Mine was a little bit more severe than Brenda's. I did lose my taste, which is the weirdest thing in the known universe. I
didn't do that. And I was waiting to see how bizarre.
Yeah, I had a little cough. I never had a fever. I didn't really have any other symptoms, but suddenly my taste disappeared. And man, when I was in the middle of it, when it was completely gone, I was really worried about it coming back because this friend I know, his daughter, her taste didn't come back for like 3 months. And that would suck.
Yeah, it would.
And it's the weirdest thing in the world when you have zero taste eating watermelon.
Like you really had no taste, like nothing whatsoever.
Nothing. If you, the example I use, take your favorite thing, take a juicy, sweet piece of watermelon.
Okay.
Hold it in your hand and crush it up. How does it taste?
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly the same, because all I was getting was texture. I wasn't getting any smells. Coffee tasted like hot water, and it was the most bizarre thing ever. And
Now that it's back, did it change at all?
no,
That's good.
not that
Yeah.
it's really weird. It started to come back. The very first thing that came back was salty. I could taste salt, and it was really funny because like when I was in the middle of zero taste, I'm like experimenting on myself. I had scrambled eggs for breakfast one morning, and I got the hottest hot sauce out of the cabinet. It's like this stuff's really super, super hot. I put it all over my eggs, and it's got zero taste, but it's still hot.
Yeah.
But
She still broke out onto a sweat.
yeah, still all of that. But got through it okay. Only one other person in our encampment actually came down with COVID. I don't know if I gave it to him or he gave it to me. Doesn't matter. We both lived.
Yeah.
But it was great. I went on actually multiple other campouts this summer that have been very inspiring for me because, you know, I had tragedies happen recently, and it was good to just get out in the woods and away from the universe and you know, contemplate and recharge and stuff like that. So now I'm back and starting to write again, and it's all good.
What do we all do over the
And
summer
I just
writing?
got delivered today my new tent stakes. I'm very excited about these.
Oh, very nice.
I'll be using them next week.
What do we all do over the summer writing wise?
So, Dave, go first.
Oh, me. Well, gosh, I wanted to, you know, this is one of those things I wanted to get more done than I did,
Amen.
but I still didn't do too bad. I finished a story called A Dust Bowl Detective, which I'm going to try to publish soon. It's a short story. I finished all the edits for a story called Bitter Days, which has been in the works for a while, so I'll be publishing that hopefully within the month. And I've got a story I'm working on right now, finishing up for an anthology called The Cleaner. It's about a wizard whose job is cleaning up after magical duels. You know, the people who accidentally let demons free that they've summoned, or leave curses lying around, things of that nature. And they're the ones who clean up the magical messes.
Nice.
I've got an anthology I'm still working on. I'm finishing up the edits for that. In fact, Marty is also a participant in that, who just got back his second draft to me.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Forever Inn.
I've got that in the works too.
Right. Okay. Sorry.
The Forever Inn is one of my problem children. The anthology that I've been having trouble making it come together, but it will come together, and I am planning on publishing it sometime in the fall.
Cool.
And that's it from me. I mean, I think that's enough.
Jay, what about you? What you been writing this summer?
Yeah, same story. I wanted to do more, but got done what I could, which was finished up Hockey entirely. It's off to the printer now, which is great. Locked in an illustrator for Overboard, which I was struggling to do scheduling wise, and I am a third of the way through editing it, which is you know, it was not, I wanted to finish the whole thing this summer, but I got through a third, and hopefully can push through by the new year so I can have it out. But I'm shooting for the end of the first quarter of 23, right? Yeah, are we in 2022? Yes, 23 to have it out. So that's what I did writing wise. I'm now back in school, so now I have to figure out, you know, the new mojo for doing schoolwork and writing work and all that fun stuff. But sometimes, you know, sometimes it's better because you're in the mode of discipline Whereas summer, you kind of just let it all go. So yeah, I'm not too worried about it. Sometimes I can pick it up.
Cool. Well, for me, I started the summer off producing another audio edition that came out really good. After that, I wrote a 10,000 word short story submitted for Dave's anthology that you just mentioned. I just did another revision of that and resubmitted that based on feedback from my writers groups. And the novel that I'm working on is getting closer. I had stalled on that because of shit that happened in my personal life. And it's really interesting how the loss of momentum can really affect a project, because I was 60,000 words into that project and hit a brick wall. I couldn't work on it for 90 days. And that never happens to me. And I normally like to finish a project and walk away from it, but I've never done it right in the middle of one. Don't do that. Because now I've been rereading it, having the computer read it to me to like get back into the groove. And I'm going through my notes in my outline, and there's some head scratchers in there. They must have made perfect sense when I wrote them down. And there's some cool ideas. And I was thinking to myself, what the hell were you thinking? And so really it's a lot of drawing board, back to the old whiteboard to kick this off. I hope it doesn't screw the whole project. But that's the big one that's in my queue right now. I'm hoping to have that in first draft by the end of this month. And then I can go back to the other novel that I wrote in the spring that is completely first draft, that has now been set aside a lot longer than I intended. So that's all good. So my original goals this year, I wanted to publish 5 books this year. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. If I'm just being perfectly honest with myself, I may get the 4 out, but 5 is just not going to happen.
Listen, Marty, that's a good thing, because it helps Dave and I feel a little less bad catching up to you. You're giving us a break here, so thank you.
Well, I got a lot more clock time to spend doing it. And so other than that, I'm started a fitness program this summer. So far, I've lost 15 pounds. I'm doing a lot more activities and stuff, and getting my shit together. And the more disciplined I am, I find, about physical stuff, the easier it is to write for some reason. I think that discipline washes into your entire life when you crank discipline up someplace. It's like the rising tide raises all boats. All those boats start doing a better job. So that's my story. And yes, I need a haircut. I was holding off because there's a wedding I'm going to a week from Saturday. So
I like it.
I didn't want to get a haircut too soon, but so that's it.
That's all she wrote.
So Dave, what was your least favorite thing from the summer?
My least favorite. Having to cancel out of Worldcon was not fun. Those who don't know, Worldcon is one of those conventions. I've gone to it as often as I can, so I've gone to maybe 10 or 12 of them. But the really important one for me was 2012, when I went to Worldcon in Chicago. I met an author named Hugh Howey, author of Sand and Wool. God, how could I forget Wool?
Yeah.
Best-selling, not only a best-selling book, but also made into a television series. And he kind of taught me about indie publishing and KDP, and suddenly I thought, wow, this dream I've had of always being a writer, that could be, that could be real. And I got serious about writing after that, joined a writing group in 2013. And so I wanted to go to Worldcon, especially this year, because it was held in Chicago again, 10 years later. And so pleased that various things happened in my personal life, and Worldcon proved not to be possible this year. So I was very disappointed in that.
Mm.
Jay, least favorite thing this summer?
I lost one of my 3 dogs.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I hate losing.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Nothing else needs to be said. It's the worst.
Yep. My least favorite thing this summer, boy,
Your friend?
well, that
Not
was
quite the
kind of
same.
the spring. I guess
Okay, fair enough.
during the summer, I had to give his eulogy. That's never a laugh riot. So yeah, and dealing with the aftermath of all of that, that wasn't fun either, because the family lives way out of state, California and Florida primarily. So I really helped them, button up the house and, sell the vehicles and all that stuff. And it was, kind of gut wrenching and difficult to do, closing up somebody's life that you loved. It just really kind of sucked. So, and that's the thing that, put a pause on my writing. It's really interesting, the monkey wrenches that you don't expect. I have a family member currently in hospice, and that's not going to be good, but
No.
it's it's one of those years.
Yeah.
It's weird. So my last question is what didn't you do this summer that you wanted to? Dave?
I didn't hear that. What was the question?
The question was, what did you not do this summer that you wanted to?
Well, let's see. I could have finished more stuff in terms of writing. I clearly wanted to go to Worldcon, but was unable to. The other thing is, we weren't sure about the COVID situation. My wife is from Scotland, so we wanted to do a Scotland trip. But so far the logistics haven't worked out for that. We're thinking sometime next year. So that vacation kind of got put off, at least until sometime next year.
Jay, what about you?
Definitely wanted to finish more projects, and definitely didn't.
Dear viewer, are you detecting a trend?
I did what? You cut out.
And I said, dear viewers, are you detecting a trend here?
Oh, yes. Yes, that's the story of our life. But made good progress on it, so I'm happy about that. Yeah, I don't have many other regrets. Usually I make the most out of summer because it's my favorite season, and just enjoy all the blessings of it, whether it's traveling or just taking a walk and enjoying the beautiful park. So not many regrets here.
Well, for me on the writing side, I didn't finish my novel. It should have been done by now. That's one thing. I did not do any book signings at all this summer. I wish I had managed that a little bit better. I didn't go to any literary conferences this summer. Like 2019, I think there was like one a month that I was attending. But other than that, I think it's been a pretty good year. Pretty good summer for us. The weather was great. Being at home with Brenda is great, and I'm feeling very fortunate. So,
Okay.
So that's it. And I am reluctant to let go of summer this year. It seemed like poof, it's over. Suddenly it's September, and I'm not ready for pumpkin spice and sweaters just yet.
I I heard a Christmas advertisement today.
They're what do they call it? They're thawing Mariah Carey at this moment.
Well,
Christmas freezer.
screw that, because I'm going camping again next week.
Nice.
And I'm going to go camping every month for the entire year this year. That's one of my goals.
The winner.
So
Right.
that'll be fun.
Hmm.
So that's it for today.
So I might have a
It's
candidate.
summer. I hope everybody had a great summer. What'd you say, Dave?
I said I might have a candidate for the weirdest thing this summer.
Oh, okay. What's the weirdest thing?
So my house, I have a fence, fenced-in backyard, 6-foot fence, and I have a pool. We back up to a common area, and as you know, there's some kind of beetle or pest going around that's been killing ash trees. So we have a dead ash tree in the common area. It's been dead for a couple years. It's still very green because it's full of poison ivy. And it decided to split up in that windstorm we had a few days ago. And so half of the tree just decided to break and fall on my fence and on my pool equipment. Now, luckily for me, it also fell on the decorative arbor vitae we have protecting or obscuring the pool equipment. So they kind of broke the fall. So I didn't actually lose any pool equipment, but I was out there in like a full body suit and gloves and everything, sawing things apart and pulling a poison ivy covered tree, all the branches and pieces out of my yard, thanks to that, which like I said, the weirdest thing that's happened to me in a while. Has nothing to do with writing, but it's pain in the butt.
Yeah, that wicked windstorm tore through here pretty good. Our neighborhood got ransacked pretty bad. We never lost power though, so that was good. All right, well, so that's it for this week. Thanks a lot for stopping in. Good to see you guys again. The summer is over, so back to work, all of you. We'll see you next time.